Hey everyone, Dan Bernard here with another tutorial. Today I want to talk about how to set up a brand new project in Adobe Premiere Pro CC. Right from the get-go, when you click on Premiere, you're going to get an option to open up old project files or create a brand new project file, and this is the dialog box that comes up when you get there. Now, this might seem simple, this might seem almost redundant at times, but organization is the key to any successful project, and I'm a big fan of being organized, and I want to share with you a few practices that I put into place when starting a brand new project to make sure you stay organized throughout. When the new project dialog box comes up, pretty much you need to fill out two things. One, what are you going to call it? And two, where are you going to put it? So I'm going to call this organizer. And I'm going to go ahead and put it this location right here, which is fine. The next options that come up are either general, scratch disk, or ingest settings. Now, under the general tab, you have an option to change what kind of renderer you want to use. This is what Premiere will use to play back your audio to render your video. So under this drop-down menu, you pretty much have the option to use pretty much your processor power or your graphics card processing power. Now, if you have a decent graphics card, a more high-end graphics card, you pretty much always want to select that. This allows your processor to do everything else that it needs to do other than run a NLE. The next option is the video display format. I always keep it on timecode. Few instances you want to use frames if you're dealing with something that is extremely specific, but generally I always keep it at timecode. Audio, you can either choose milliseconds or audio samples. I usually keep audio samples, and we are going to be using DV capture format, but we're not going to be capturing any video from DV tape, so we don't really need to worry about this. The next tab over is pretty important. It's the scratch disks. This is where all of your settings and reference files will live aside from your media cache. Ingest settings, this is if you were going to be ingesting footage like from a DV cam or some kind of film conversion interface. Really not anything we need to worry about right now. So once everything's set to what you want, go ahead and hit OK and your project will open. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to our one screen setup, and from here we can start bringing media into our project. Now you can do that a few different ways. You can double click on the project organizer space right here where it says import media to start. You can double click there, and then you can navigate to a folder where your media lives and select whatever you want and bring it in. So for example, here's a bunch of 4K footage that my friend Casey and I shot last year. You can bring it in that way, or you can bring up your Explorer window or whatever OS you're using, navigate there and just grab whatever files you want and then drag them into the project window. Or you can click on File, Import, and it's exactly the same way as double clicking on your project window. So here's where things can get kind of crazy. You start bringing in all your media, let's say a bunch of different footage, different types of cameras, and you start building this really big project, right? So we got a bunch of footage from like 3 different cameras. We got some audio, we got some music that's just kind of living out and about, just willy-nilly unorganized in our project window. First things first is to organize your footage by camera. So I'll call this 4K, call this folder Osmo, since it was shot on the DJI Osmo, and then the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. There we go. And I know that these MP3 files are all music. So I'm going to call this music, and this is my audio for video. So I'm going to call this audio, and then take all of the camera footage, bring that into another folder. I know, redundant, but still, you want to know where stuff lives. So now I have footage and audio. Under audio, I have the audio for video, and then a subfolder called music. Under footage, all of my camera footage is organized by folder. So I know that all my 4K footage is here. My Pocket Cinema camera footage is here. and my Osmo footage lives here. Now from here, I'd want to build a raw sequence, which is a single timeline that contains all of my footage. So I'm just going to select all 3 of these folders and drag them down to here, which is the new item button. So if I let go of that, you'll see that it instantly creates a timeline and all of my footage now is in a single timeline. And you'll see here in the root of the project here, it creates a sequence, but it just names it kind of whatever it wants. But I don't want to name it that. I'm going to click on it and name it raw. And then I'm going to right click and say duplicate and make a new sequence and name it edit. Now if I double click on edit, I'll have edit up top and raw down here, but I actually want those to switch. Then I'll come down here to edit, hit Control A and delete. And then now I have a raw sequence and an edit sequence. I can go through this raw sequence, get all the clips that I want, and then bring them down into the edit timeline for the ones that I want to keep, and then arrange into a separate sequence altogether. Now here is a good spot to do the next key step, which is to save your project. So you click Save As, and I'm going to leave it here in the project files called Organizer and hit Save. And it's going to say, well, that already exists because that's where you put it before, but I say yes. And now I'm ready to start editing and putting together my rough cut. So I hope this shows the importance of just getting off to a good start, a organized start when creating a brand new sequence in Adobe Premiere Pro. So please trust me, this comes from years of experience of editing, and it's good to get in these kind of organizational habits early because it's just going to save you time. It is convenient that there is a search bar up here, but if you just happen to not name something correctly or name something wrong, you're still going to have a hard time finding it if you have a huge project, a huge project window that's just full of media, and you're going to be wasting time, and no one wants that because of the whole importance of getting paid, hence the importance of getting pizza things. So I don't want to suplex a dead horse there, but seriously, just stay organized. It'll help you. Trust me. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section provided below the video that you're watching. And if you want to see more post-production tutorials, production tutorials, things of that substance and structure, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll probably see you later. Thanks for stopping by.